I want to share a powerful truth with you, one that's simple yet often overlooked in our pursuit of our dreams. It explains why so many people remain stuck in their current situations, unable to reach the goals they cherish. This isn't because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they have yet to grasp the fundamental principles governing both the inner and outer worlds. The reality you experience is nothing more than a reflection of your own thoughts and beliefs. Your successes, failures, and even the obstacles you face all originate from the assumptions you've embraced within your consciousness. Too often, we blame external factors, forgetting that our true power comes from within. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." It's only through understanding this that we can uncover our real potential. The step that most people miss, but is also the most crucial, is placing themselves in the state of their desired outcome already being fulfilled. They yearn for change, yet they fail to live as if that change has already taken place. This misalignment is what keeps them from stepping into success and happiness. So, where is your focus directed? The answer lies in this video, and it determines everything. 1. The problem with wanting. When we examine the nature of desire, we uncover a paradox, a relentless cycle of wanting and pursuing that often leaves us in a prolonged state of dissatisfaction. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This statement perfectly captures an inner struggle. The more we desire, the more we reinforce a sense of lack, making our dreams feel even further out of reach. To break free from this loop, we must change the way we perceive our aspirations. When we focus entirely on wanting, we unknowingly trap ourselves in a mindset of scarcity. Desire, by its very nature, implies the absence of something, creating a gap between where we are and where we wish to be. The key to closing this gap isn't found in working harder or longing more deeply, but in shifting our perspective, acting as though our desires have already been fulfilled. When we cultivate a sense of completion in the present, we naturally align with the energy of accomplishment. Consider the story of Jim Carrey, the renowned comedian and actor. Before reaching success, Carrey wrote himself a check for $10 million, post-dated 5 years into the future, with the memo, "For acting services rendered." He carried that check in his wallet, fully believing that one day he would cash it. But his visualization was more than just wishful thinking. It shaped his mindset and infused his actions with purpose. He worked tirelessly, not from a place of desperation, but from a belief in his future success. 5 years later, he landed a role in Dumb and Dumber and signed a contract for exactly $10 million. This illustrates the power of feeling as though your desires are already realized. This principle isn't about mere daydreaming. It's about synchronizing your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the reality you want to create. When you desire success, wealth, or love, ask yourself, if I already had it, how would I feel? How would I act? What would I think? The moment you begin embodying these answers, you stop being someone who wants and become someone who possesses. This shift doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending challenges don't exist. Instead, it's a way of living in alignment with your dreams. If you seek confidence, carry yourself as though you already have it. If you desire wealth, practice gratitude for what you already own, no matter how small. The Stoic philosophers understood this deeply, often emphasizing that perception shapes experience. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." This timeless wisdom reminds us that our mental state dictates our reality. When we assume our desires have already been fulfilled, our actions begin to reflect that belief. Over time, this mindset creates a reinforcing loop, leading us to make choices and take steps that bring our imagined future into existence. Far from being mere fantasy, imagination is the first step in making dreams a reality. A chair was once just an idea. A building was once a blueprint. Everything we use daily was first visualized before it was made real. The same principle applies to personal aspirations. Every goal begins as a mental image, and by vividly imagining the state we wish to achieve, we have already taken the first step toward creating it. Imagine an artist standing before a blank canvas. He does not paint at random. Instead, he envisions the completed masterpiece in his mind before making the first brushstroke. In life, your imagination serves as your blueprint, and every action you take is a brushstroke completing the masterpiece of your reality. Now, take a moment to reflect. Are you acting as someone who wants or as someone who already has? How can you shift your mindset to live as though your desires are already realized? Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever applied this approach and seen results? Or do you have questions that need clarification? I look forward to hearing your experiences. 2. The fourth dimensional world. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This timeless insight highlights the power of aligning our inner world with external reality, what I refer to as the fourth world. This is a realm where all possibilities already exist, where love, wealth, success, and every genuine desire are already present in their perfect form. Yet, many remain trapped in a cycle of wanting rather than transitioning into a state of having. Think about this. People pray earnestly, work relentlessly, and hope with passion, yet they stay stuck in their current state of consciousness. Why? Because they continue to see their desires as distant, rather than recognizing them as realities they already possess. Imagine standing before an extravagant banquet, filled with every exquisite dish you could imagine, yet believing you are starving. Everything is there, abundant, visible, and available. But if you do not claim it as yours, you will still feel hunger. Let me break it down further. The fourth world isn't confined by linear time or physical barriers. It is a dimension of belief, creativity, and imagination, where the essence of everything already exists. When you envision success, it's not something you need to earn through effort. It is already present in the fourth dimension, simply waiting for you to embody it. The real key is not in struggling to attain it, but in shifting your state of being to align with it. This is where many get stuck. The harder they strive to obtain something, the more they reinforce the belief that they lack it. Take, for example, someone who constantly affirms, "I want to be loved." Though well-intentioned, this statement subconsciously reinforces the notion that love is absent in their life. They act from a place of scarcity, signaling to both their subconscious mind and the universe that love is something they do not have. And, as the law of focus states, what you focus on, you attract. If you focus on lack, you will continue to experience more of it. Consider a young violinist preparing for an important performance. He practices relentlessly, refining his technique and perfecting every note. Yet, in the final hours before stepping onto the stage, his mind is consumed with fear. What if I fail? What if I make a mistake? These thoughts are, in essence, powerful affirmations of doubt, revealing a lack of trust in his own readiness. Now imagine that instead of fixating on fear, the musician takes a deep breath, closes his eyes, and visualizes his success. He hears the applause, feels the joy of playing each note flawlessly, and steps into the confidence of a victorious performance. In that moment, he has entered the fourth world, He is no longer striving, he is becoming. This shift from wanting to having isn't just a theoretical concept, it's a practical strategy for reshaping reality. By aligning your emotions and thoughts with the state of already possessing what you desire, you naturally begin to attract it into your life. The violinist, by fully embracing the belief in his success, transforms his nervous energy into confidence, leading to a flawless performance. The Stoic philosophers, masters of inner discipline, deeply understood this principle. They taught that perception shapes reality and that true mastery comes not from controlling external circumstances, but from mastering the mind. The fourth world is simply an extension of this wisdom. It is the realization that by focusing on the state you wish to attain, you close the gap between your current reality and the future you envision. To apply this principle, start by shifting your language and mindset. Instead of saying, "I want," declare, "I have." Instead of longing for success, affirm, "I am successful." Rather than yearning for love, feel its presence within you. "I am loved." The power of these affirmations isn't in the words alone, but in the deep emotions and beliefs behind them. When you truly embody the state of already having, the universe responds accordingly. So, as you navigate life, remember, what you focus on, you attract. The fourth world isn't some distant fantasy. It's a reality already waiting for you to claim it. The banquet is laid before you. All that's left to do is take your seat and enjoy. 3. Assumption as the key to manifestation. Have you ever wondered why two people in the exact same situation can achieve completely different outcomes? The difference isn't in what they do, it's in what they believe. At the heart of every reality we create lies a simple yet powerful concept: assumption. Though it may seem straightforward, assumption shapes the world we experience every single day. What we attract is not based on what we merely want, but on who we truly are. Everything you see, touch, and experience is a direct reflection of what exists in your mind. Think about this. If you firmly believe the world is a hostile place, every word and action around you will seem like a threat. On the other hand, if you assume life is filled with opportunities, you'll naturally spot potential in every situation. This proves that we don't live in an objective world. We live in a reality molded by our inner assumptions. Many people turn to positive affirmations in an attempt to transform their lives. But if, deep inside, they reject those affirmations, their efforts are in vain. You can repeat, "I am wealthy," endlessly, but if your subconscious mind constantly counters with, "I don't deserve it," you'll remain stuck in a cycle of lack. Assumption is not about mechanically repeating phrases, it's about fully embracing the state you desire. Instead of just wishing for something, assume that you already possess it and start living as if it were your reality. This isn't about pretending, it's about cultivating a deeply ingrained inner state. When you hold firm in the belief that your dreams are already realized, that belief becomes your dominant feeling, and over time, your outer reality reshapes itself to match. Take Thomas Edison, for example. His invention of the light bulb wasn't the result of luck. It was driven by an unshakable assumption. He believed he had already discovered the way to create artificial light, even after failing thousands of times. It was his unwavering conviction, his assumption, that allowed him to accomplish what many thought was impossible. The world you experience is nothing more than a mirror reflecting what your mind accepts as truth. Consider dreams. When you're in one, no matter how illogical the scenario, you believe it completely. Your waking consciousness operates in a similar way. When you deeply commit to a belief, your senses adjust to reflect it. You are never bound by your current circumstances. Anyone can shift into a new reality simply by daring to change their assumptions. This is not about pretending, It's about deliberate creation. Imagine not just living in your dream home, but actually feeling the warmth of the sunlight streaming through the windows, the softness of the sofa beneath you, and the gentle breeze drifting through the room. If you can hold this state with unwavering conviction, it will become your reality. A powerful example of this principle in action is the story of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Born in Austria to a humble background, Arnold didn't just dream of success. He assumed it was inevitable. Even as a young bodybuilder, he envisioned himself not only winning the title of Mr. Olympia, but also becoming a Hollywood star. He didn't just train to win, he lived and acted like a champion long before achieving fame. Arnold often spoke of how he visualized himself receiving awards, signing movie contracts, and being recognized by millions, all within his mind. In time, this assumption became reality. He went on to win 7 Mr. Olympia titles, break records in bodybuilding, and become one of Hollywood's most legendary action stars with iconic films like The Terminator. His story is proof that when you remain steadfast in your assumption and align your actions with it, reality eventually conforms to your belief. But how can you remain consistent in your assumption? How do you create vivid images in your mind and transform them into a blueprint for reality? This is where the power of imagination comes into play. In the next section, we'll explore how imagination is not just a tool, but a fundamental force in shaping your life. Imagination as reality's blueprint. Have you ever stopped to reflect on the extraordinary power of imagination? Think of it as a master sculptor shaping a masterpiece from a raw block of stone. Imagination is the blueprint of reality. What you focus on will ultimately manifest in your life. This is not mere wishful thinking, but an unchanging law, the foundation for realizing your desires. To turn desires into reality, you must embrace the feeling that they have already come true, as naturally as you believe the bed you sleep on is real. This may sound simple, but it is precisely this natural feeling that unlocks your inner power. Imagine someone aspiring to wealth. If wealth feels foreign or unattainable in their mind, it will always remain out of reach. However, if they can feel wealth as something familiar and natural, reality will begin to align with that state of consciousness. This is how the unseen becomes seen, just as water patiently and powerfully flows into every crevice. Imagination, the architect of reality. Imagination is not just the playground of dreams, it is the very essence of reality, a mirror reflecting what is to come. Picture yourself standing on the stage of life, with your mind as the director and your thoughts and emotions as the script. What you imagine today becomes the story you live tomorrow. Like an artist sketching the first lines of a masterpiece, your imagination provides the outline and reality fills in the details. A perfect example of this is a seed, a tiny, simple object that holds within it the full blueprint of a mighty tree. Your imagination is that seed. When you plant it with faith and patience, reality becomes the fertile ground where it will take root and flourish. The power of consistency. One of the greatest obstacles people face is oscillation between their desired state and their old patterns. You might envision yourself as happy and successful, yet quickly slip back into doubt and fear. This inner conflict prevents the seed from taking root. Loyalty to your desired state is the decisive factor. You must remain in it long enough for it to become a natural part of your consciousness. Time is not an obstacle, it is simply the unfolding of different states of being. When you say, "I am," you are not merely describing yourself, you are declaring the essence of your reality. Whatever you place after "I am" shapes your world. Say, "I am strong," and you will feel strength growing within you. Say, "I am not good enough," and reality will reflect that limitation back to you. This is the divine creative power that everyone possesses, an energy that must be directed with wisdom and care. Patience, the conductor of reality. Change does not happen in an instant. Your world is a complex reflection of your inner state, and adjusting it requires patience and persistence. Like a conductor guiding a symphony, you must allow each instrument to harmonize before the masterpiece is complete. Once you understand that imagination is the blueprint of reality, everything begins to make sense. Consistency with your desired state. Faith in the power of I am. The ability to imagine vividly and naturally. These are the keys to shaping your world according to your will. So, imagine not just with your mind, but with your heart, and watch as reality transforms into the masterpiece you were meant to create. 5. Consciousness is the only reality. Imagine life as a vast painting, with your mind as the artist. By shifting your assumptions, you can redraw the scenery of your life. When you focus on a desired state, your consciousness gradually shapes an environment that reflects that state. This is not a new idea. It is the foundation of creation. The great inventor Thomas Edison exemplified this truth. He did not see failure in his thousands of unsuccessful attempts to create the light bulb. Instead, he remained steadfast in the belief that it could become a reality. That unwavering consciousness ultimately led him to success. The power of sustained consciousness. One of the main reasons people fail to realize their dreams is their lack of perseverance in maintaining the desired state. Think of someone planting seeds. If they keep digging up the soil every day to check the growth, the plant will never sprout. Similarly, if you constantly waver in your state of consciousness, your desires will not take root. As Marcus Aurelius once said, the outer world is merely a reflection of the inner world. If you want to see external change, you must first transform your mind. Many people try to change their circumstances without realizing that the root of their problems lies within their consciousness. Consider someone trying to improve a relationship by changing their partner rather than altering their own perspective and communication style. This is like expecting a different fruit while planting the same seed. Change begins only when consciousness is transformed. The true nature of prayer. In philosophy and religion, prayer is not a plea. It is the act of feeling that your desire has already been fulfilled. Think about ordering a package online. You don't place the same order repeatedly. You trust that it will arrive. Similarly, when you desire something, feel as though it has already come true. This belief is not dependent on sensory evidence, but on your inner acceptance of the reality of your desire. Acting as if. The key to transformation. One way to sustain the consciousness that your desire is already fulfilled is to act as though it has already happened. If you aspire to be a public speaker, speak and behave like one now, even if you have never taken the stage. If you seek success, carry yourself with confidence and certainty, as if you already possess it. This not only attracts opportunities, but also trains your mind and behavior to align with your new reality. Your role in creation. What are your thoughts on the power of consciousness in shaping reality? Have you ever experienced a moment when your focus transformed your life? Is there something you wish to change right now? Share your experiences and insights below. Let's explore together how consciousness is the only reality and how it shapes everything around us. Conclusion. Throughout this journey of discovery, we've uncovered the immense power of focus and silence, not just as tools to manage our emotions, but also as ways to affirm dignity and self-respect. By mastering our gaze, words, and mind, we create a source of energy that attracts positive and meaningful experiences into our lives. Now, What do you think about the idea that focus can shape your reality? I'd love to hear your perspective on how you maintain emotional control in difficult situations. Please share your story in the comments. If you found this content helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any upcoming videos. Keep following this series to explore more powerful values from Stoic philosophy. See you in the next video.